It's Tuesday, March 3rd, 2015. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, the games we played at PAX South so long ago.
Let's do this.
You know, we had a long hiatus after PAX South for a lot of reasons. And it's weird that we're finally talking about PAX South literally like before I pack for PAX East.
Yeah, I got to pack tomorrow.
Yeah, too many PAXs.
I had a dream, and it was real.
Really?
Yeah, I remembered that Captain Jack's entire discography is on Spotify.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. You're Captain Jack.
Shit.
You get what I'm referencing.
Can I get your autograph?
Man. Oh, my God. Captain Jack. Man. You know what? You know what I just realized? The same thing you realized a little while ago. You know what I'm gonna do while I'm working on shit tonight?
Okay.
This is some Captain Jack. So you know what I got in my hand? Something that you haven't gotten to use yet. Our special enforcer badges.
Oh, that's right. I remember. I forgot. I thought I lost it, but I guess I never had it in the
kept
first
them
place.
Because this was the first PAX we could use them legitimately because we weren't enforcers at South.
Okay.
So yeah, it's PAX time, and we'll talk about that later. So, you got any news? It's gaming day. We haven't talked about games in a while.
You know, GDC is happening. You think there'd be a ton of gaming news, but actually, I didn't see anything worth talking about.
Because GDC is not for the consumer.
Usually, things still happen there that were every year past of Geeknights, you can find probably an episode where we talk about some news from GDC, but I haven't seen any at all.
Date Nighto's there, like doing stuff.
We have nothing to talk about with their
No, we don't. News from GDC. Wow, there is literally nothing.
The biggest gaming news I could find is that
And no, Valve is not holding a press conference today.
Yeah, big news flash. There is no news.
Yep.
GOG.com is having a sale right now. They've done this a few times before, I think, where they sell games like ridiculously low prices, like even lower than the usual ridiculousness, but in limited quantities. So it'll be like, this $50 game is $5, but only like 20 people can get it for $5. And as soon as 20 people buy it for $5, then they switch it to a different game.
I think I know why there's no news out of GDC this year. Because PAX East is like in a few days.
Yeah, that's
and
a better
I think
place.
they're going to coincide the announcements with PAX East.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Whatever. So I want to talk about, I can do some Geek Bite.
Ooh, a Geek Bite.
Game I've been playing recently, Skeleton Clicker.
Uh-oh.
Also known as El Diablo.
Is this...
Trace.
Oh, wait a minute. You're talking about Diablo, aren't you?
El Diablo.
Okay. I was like, ooh, is it like Cow
So
Clicker?
the last time we talked about this game, we were talking about, you know, the real money auction house garbage and how you should never play this horrible game.
Yep.
That shit was removed actually quite a long time ago by now.
It is kind of sad and interesting that I cared so little I didn't pay attention to that.
I only got the game because there was some ridiculous sale that, like, Blizzard never has a sale.
I think I have the game too, but I don't think I paid for it.
They had a big old sale, and you got the game and the expansion and a whole bunch of garbage, whatever, for like way less than the usual price. So then I found a friend to play it with. So we just been clicking on skeletons. And yeah, everything I've said about El Diablo in the past is still true. You literally do nothing in this game but click on skeletons. And if you're about to die, run away and push the health potion button and then click on skeletons again. Perhaps click on some demons. Perhaps click on some ghosts or something. I don't know. You just click on bad guys. And then it makes it really easy to optimize your equipment even more than the old days. Because like...
What did Dave say? Because Dave and it's weird. You know, so lately, Dave and Joel have been, on Fast Karate, have been talking about a lot of the things we talk about. Like, we've just both been covering, like, the same anime and the same games and things, like, weirdly. And we've basically been saying the same thing. So they were just talking about this and saying a lot of the things that we're saying right now.
Yeah, like, it'll tell you, you know, on an item, let's say you find a hammer, it'll be like, strength plus 30 with this hammer. And, okay, what does that really mean, though? Well, down on the bottom, it'll show you, like, well, that will increase your damage. If you equip this item instead of the item you have now, your damage will go up by 30%. Your toughness will go down by this percent. Your healing will go up or down by this percent, et cetera, et cetera. So you only need to look at that. You can completely ignore all the other numbers. So I'm playing a wizardy who's pretty much a glass cannon wizardy. Just stay far away from anything that can kill you.
Get someone else to tank, I believe the children would
Do as
say.
much range damage as possible, then run away and continue to do so.
Perhaps kiting.
So I only care about increasing damage. So there's really not any thinking that goes into this game. It's pretty much just the story.
Wait, that's the same strategy I used in One Must Fall 2097. Just increase damage, don't care about anything else.
Right. So It's just the story pretty much in this game, other than clicking on the skeletons.
So I'm gonna go get oh, I got him.
Yeah, the story is pretty much that. But for some reason, like, you sort of care. But there's one giant plot hole that I don't understand. Is that, it's about, like, heaven's real, hell is real.
All right.
There's demons in hell, there's angels in heaven. They're all really wicked powerful, but somehow, thanks to grinding, you're even more powerful. You're a Nephilim.
Dude, see also D&D. I mean,
Right,
once you hit level 20, like, you're already...
Pretty much. The angels and demons are fighting. Angels are the good guys. You're on their side, even though they have some infighting issues, whatever. And then, you got to go kill all the bad guys because they all came back since Diablo 2, right? Big deal. The one thing I don't understand is spoilers. in the last act of El Diablo 3, El Diablo goes to heaven to take on heaven itself, as opposed to like the end of Diablo 2 where you go into hell to get Diablo.
That's a smart move.
Right. The thing I don't understand is, like, isn't, like, God up there? It's like he's taking all these angels. It's like, God doesn't appear at all to do anything about this.
Well, maybe this world exists in a mythology where there's a demiurge, which is like with the angels, but there is an unknowable further God that doesn't interact.
Well,
that Gnostic bullshit.
That is certainly likely because God ain't showing the fuck up. And it's like, why do I gotta do this? It's like, shouldn't Diablo show up at heaven and God just be like,
Scott,
nope, the end.
Scott, so think of this. In medieval like images, often like everything's two-dimensional, partly because, that's God's perspective on the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you are God in Diablo. You are sitting outside of the plane of this world's existence.
So why
with a screen controlling an avatar, just like God's do in Dungeons and Dragons.
That's how you want to do?
That's how I want to do.
All right. There's one more thing I had to say about Diablo 3, right? Which is, it's really a nothing game. Like, you just have nothing to do and you want to click on something, but your brain has already used its willpower for the day.
Yep. Like, you don't want it. You want one step above just drawing squares on the desktop.
Right. For some reason, even though Torchlight and Torchlight 2 are the exact same fucking game as Diablo 1, 2, 3, especially 2 and 3. Same exact goddamn game. The art is different, maybe.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why. Usually I know why, or I can figure out why, but I'm trying to figure out why, and I don't understand because I went back and loaded up Torchlight, and I clicked on some skeletons there, and then I clicked on some Diablo skeletons, and as far as I can tell, there's no real difference. But for some reason, me, but also other people that I know, all seem to agree that it's like, yeah, Diablo, you kind of like clicking on the skeletons, and in Torchlight, you get bored of clicking on the skeletons really fucking fast.
I think it's partly that, kind of like how different FPS is.
And it's not just like, it's like I was getting plenty of loots in both of them. It's not the loot reward.
No, it's the
schedule.
like when you click and you cast a spell and you hit something. I think the animation and the sound and the motion and the reaction just feel a little more heavy.
Torchlight, I was using guns. It was pretty satisfying. Boom.
Yeah, I think it's just a little, for whatever reason, it's a little more satisfying.
I can't figure it out.
Might also be just like a slight like frame timing, Scott. You're playing on different frames.
I have no idea why the exact, like, pretty much the same. And it's not like Torchlight is like some obviously crappy jank version, right? It's a highly polished, well-developed game. Good, well-programmed, everything. There's nothing wrong with it. It's professionally made. I don't know what magic Blizzard put in the Diablo.
You can't always understand the whims of the human heart.
Also, I wonder, sorry if I offended anyone by, anyone who speaks Spanish by always saying El Diablo. But
Scott's done this as long as I've known him.
I wonder if in Spanish-speaking countries, is it called Satan 3? or Devil 3?
I am sure.
Or Beelzebub 3?
I am confident it's just called Diablo, but I haven't looked this up, so I'm not 100% sure.
And would we get in trouble if we made a game called, like, Satan 3?
I'll bet we could get away with making a game just called Satan.
All right.
I wonder if there is a game already called Satan. I mean, there's Satan's Hollow.
Sure, but that's not Satan. We should make Satan's Hollow 2, where you...
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, you click on the bridge.
So, I did a live stream last night, kind of on a sudden whim, because... I got home from doing a bunch of stuff, and I was supposed to be working on, of all things, I've been making for like a couple weeks now, a really long sort of mechanical explanation of Five Nights at Freddy's, like the first one. Scott
You're
Cawthorn's
obsessed with
game.
this freaking game.
They're really good at being horror games.
This is a game I needed to play for like 5 minutes and never needed to look at again.
Yeah, well,
and you're like obsessed with it so much you're making a crazy long video.
I am, and it's a really good video. But so I've been kind of like playing one to analyze and be able to talk about it and all this stuff and making this long video. And I sit down to finish that video because it's almost done. And then I see a bunch of people tweeting about Five Nights at Freddy's 3 because it came out suddenly. Like Scott.
Well,
I
think people knew it was coming out.
Well, no, we knew it was coming. We didn't know when.
That guy seems to be cranking them out. I don't know how.
Scott Cawthorn is already, in my mind, a genius. Here is why. One,
prolific, so prolific.
well, no, he made other. I'm gonna quote Wikipedia because it tells the story. I don't know. I haven't verified this story 100%, but Wikipedia has, so take it at that. Quote. The idea for Five Nights at Freddy's stems from the negative reception towards Scott Cawthorn's previous game, the family-friendly Chipper and Sons Lumber Company, where players ridiculed the main character, a young beaver, as looking like a, quote, scary animatronic animal. Jim Sterling called the game unintentionally terrifying. Although initially depressed by the poor reception to Chipper and Sons, Cawthorn, who had previously developed
I want to play
mainly
Chipper and Sons.
Christianity-oriented games, eventually used it to inspire himself to make something intentionally scarier, and that's when he made Five Nights at Freddy's.
So this guy's like a big holy roller here?
I don't know. I don't know much about him. I haven't done a lot of research on him. I've only been focused on the game. But so Five Nights at Freddy's just became virally, ridiculously successful. But in this weird, like, sharded off world, it's like there's one corner of the internet where everybody's obsessed with this game and knows everything about it.
And I mean, there's some corner of the internet where people are still crazy about Ultima and know everything about it.
But it's a big corner. Like, you go to a PAX, like everyone's like, oh my God, Five Nights at Freddy's. And, like, you see some cosplay. But then you, like, talk about it at another PAX and literally no one in the room had even heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, the 3 came out and I tweeted kind of like, would anyone care if I just bought it and live streamed it right now? And a ton of listeners were like, fucking do it. So I did it.
Yeah, we won't have to pay for that shit. You do it.
So it was interesting. I played Five Nights at Freddy's 3, literally knowing nothing about it and just kind of completely blind. So basically, I did for 3 what I said you should have done for 1. Watching other people play these games is the wrong way to experience them. Unless you're watching your excitable friend play them, like at a party. And then Kate couldn't even take it and gave the controller back to me and forced me to play it. But I digress. So I played Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and I kind of reviewed it as I was playing it. And you know what? It's the second best of the games. It's really good at what it does. It's worth playing if you like these kinds of games. Just buy it and play it. Don't watch like Markiplier, those people play it on YouTube. Play it yourself.
What?
You know, like those PewDiePie types.
I don't know who they are.
So just play it, and it's kind of fun. And it actually got me a couple times, too. You know, I knew it was a jump scare. I'm like, all right, this game's a jump scare game. Oh, I bet a jump scare is coming now. And I lean back like I'm not going to get jump scared. That's stupid. And then it doesn't jump scare me. I'm like, okay. And I lean in, and then it jump scares like the moment I lean in.
You should just jump scare like when there's not like you couldn't possibly expect it. Like you check all the cameras, you see all the guys are like totally where they belong.
Yep.
You put the camera away, jump scare.
Yeah. So actually, not so in my video for
it teleported. Fuck you.
For Five Nights at Freddy's 1, I talk about that because part of the reason why it works is that the game uses a series of tricks to where you figure, like, you learn, oh, a jump scare happens when this occurs. But then there'll be like in the next night, they'll subtly break that rule and introduce a jump scare you didn't expect. So when the power goes out, sometimes Freddy just doesn't attack you right away. Sometimes he doesn't attack you at all. It becomes 6 a.m. and you win. The game does these things to trick you into getting jump scared even after you think, I'm going to lean back and not get jump scared. So yeah, 3 is pretty good. And if you're curious if you should play it, just watch my live stream and you'll see exactly what it's like. And then you'll see enough to know if you should play the rest of it or not.
You didn't beat it?
No, I got to the 4th night in a blind play, and then it was like midnight, and I really had to go to bed. And I really needed my heart to stop beating so fast. But anyway, things of the day. Someone tweeted this. I think it was Natasha Allegri. I don't remember, but it's a quite internet thing. And I was suddenly reminded that this existed. So the Super Mario Brothers Super Show was pretty good at being what it was. But I'm not
Better
talking about
than
that.
He-Man, I guess.
Of all the episodes in that show, there was one that I saw once
The
when I
one
was
with
really
Magic
young,
Johnson.
and I did not I had vague memories of it, but I couldn't remember anything that happened in it, and I wasn't really sure if it existed or if I'd made it up. There was no internet back then, so I couldn't find a list of episodes or anything. So I forgot about it. Now, years later, I realized what it was, and I was reminded of it the other day. I submit to you the Super Mario Brothers Super Show episode entitled Bad Rap, where every character raps the entire time badly, and there's a rap beat
Well, this
just
is
looping.
the early 90s when MC Hammer was the shit and rap
Yeah.
was a big deal.
This
It hit the mainstream.
is amazing and terrifying. I dare you to watch the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah?
Oh,
yeah.
thing of the day.
Yeah.
So, my friend Cookie Monster, he came to my city. Actually, he lives in New York City.
Yeah.
But anyway, he went over to Manhattan, where he doesn't live. He lives in Queens. And he visited L museums. They're all pretty close to each other. The big ones, the MoMA, the Met, the Guggenheim. He visited them. And while he was there, he learned many things. He enlightened himself thanks to all the magnificent artworks. And he shared those enlightening discoveries with us, people. So if you need to be enlightened by the Cookie Monster, and you don't live in New York and you can't go to these museums just on a whim, like people who live in New York can, you might need Cookie Monster to enlighten you about why you should move to New York.
My favorite part about that is in the Guggenheim, he doesn't say anything. His facial expression says it all.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was a good little bit there.
I mean, also, why you should have googly eyes.
Googly eyes are pretty good.
Googly eyes would pretty much make everything better.
In the meta moment, the book club book is still Watership Down. It's about rabbits on an adventure. It's kind of important. A lot of nerds have read it. A lot of nerdy things were inspired by it.
I guess I'll read more on the PAX bus.
We are going to be at that PAX, which is on Friday this weekend. It's coming up.
So this PAX is in 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be no Geeknights on Thursday.
We have a panel at that PAX.
Yes.
It's on a really good time. Friday at...
4:30 p.m. on Friday in the Bumblebee Theater.
That's the front right theater.
Yeah,
So
go
it's
straight into PAX.
turn right and up, and it's the first theater.
Yeah, go straight into PAX on the main floor. Turn right, and then go to the end of the hall. Turn left. It's the first one right there.
Yeah.
Bumblebee. And
It's in the upstairs, the up of escalators.
but not the up. The up
the up is main events.
and some other. Well,
Right.
there's an up that goes to some other theaters
it's
too.
it's the one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the no, it is the up actually because there's air animals, land animals, sea animals. We're not all the way down in the cuttlefish.
No, we're not in the cuttlefish.
We're presenting What is Losing. It's going to be fucking awesome. If you want to find us at PAX to figure out how to game with us or ask us a question or whatever, right after going to that panel and grabbing us as we come out of the room is pretty much your best possible chance. Otherwise, you're going to have to hope you run into us in tabletop.
Yep. I'm gonna be I'm gonna get one of those little signs where it's that lets you put an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and stand it up in a piece of plastic.
Are
that's
you?
sort of like an L shape? Yeah, I'm going to Staples.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm gonna write on it pretty much hey, let's play Netrunner. I'm gonna put it at the end of the table in tabletop when I'm sitting there. So now it'll be easy to find us. Either if you want to play Netrunner or not, you can still find us by looking for a Netrunner sign. And we're enforcing at night, at least I am, so don't look for me after 7 o'clock.
Yep. I don't know when I'm
Or
enforcing.
Come to tabletop at 7 o'clock or later on Friday or Saturday, but I can't play games with you, but I can probably help you out with shit.
He can kick you out.
I can't kick you out myself, but I can definitely
You can
have
put
you.
in-
I can have you kicked out.
You can put into motion a process by which you will be removed from
only
PAX.
if the person does something worthy of engaging that process.
Yep. So don't show up to tabletop at night naked and vomiting.
Don't show up with alcohol or drugs or anything that it says on the back of your PAX badge not to do. Don't punch or hit people there.
Yep.
I don't have to deal with you. But you can just come and ask me questions while I'm enforcelating, because that's...
And then, of course, next week, just like the last PAX, there won't be any shows, at least not in the beginning of the week, because I'm going straight from PAX to London for two other events that are not related to gaming and not fun.
If you live in London...
If you live in
Steal
London,
the crown jewels and bring them to me.
if you want to hang out in London,
If
Wednesday.
you can't do that, well, how come you're not as good as Lupin? Why do you suck?
Next Wednesday morning, I might have a bunch of free time. We could grab like breakfast or brunch or something. Maybe
There must be like a nerdy place to go in London, like a comic shop or a gaming
Oh yeah,
store.
I've been to London enough. I
Or,
know a bunch of stuff to do.
Or a tabletop cafe kind of place. Bike shop.
Yeah. So at PAX South, we played
PAX South, by the PAX East is this weekend. PAX South was weekends ago.
Now we're going to do a show later to review San Antonio, but
a Thursday show perhaps?
we don't need to do a whole show on reviewing PAX South because PAX South was a PAX. It was equivalent to PAX Australia. It was a real
it was
PAX.
slightly bigger than the first PAX Australia, I think.
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah, you didn't go to the second PAX Australia. It is
No.
the same as the normal PAX Australia.
The second PAX Australia.
Yes, the one that you didn't go to.
Okay.
And it was a PAX. It was great. And honestly, if you had to choose, like if you had to choose 2 PAXs to go to, I would say go to Australia and Prime. If you had to choose 3, I'd say Australia, Prime, and South. I'd put East last, only because
Not because East is not good.
no, but because you can't get a fucking hotel room.
Yeah. And
I
there's
wasn't
nowhere
in the
to eat.
Westin-
There's nowhere to eat. It's nothing about the PAX itself at East. It's just that like East is like even though we live really close to East, it's the closest one.
Yeah,
It's the most inconvenient one because
it is easier to get
eat-
to and get hotels for PAX Prime and Australia than PAX East.
Yes. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, PAX South was a PAX. We spent most of it playing games like you do. One interesting thing was that, like, the tabletop was really big.
Huge.
Maybe the biggest tabletop of any PAX.
And it wasn't super crowded, so you could always find a table.
The attendance wasn't, like, Prime or East level attendance, even though it was still sold out. Yeah, yet is right. It was the first year of a new PAX in a not so densely populated area of the world. Texas, a big flat desert.
The only thing that was very interesting that I kind of want to mention is that, it sold out, I think, like right at the end, but like it didn't sell out up until the con.
Yep.
You could get badges for 2 of the days or almost right up until the con.
The number of people within geographic distance of San Antonio who are nerds and want to go to a PAX and whatnot is not
based on my completely anecdotal, entirely biased personal experience, the demographic of PAX Prime is everyone who's a gamer who can get there. Like, people
Pretty
fly
much.
from everywhere. Like, in fact, the average person I meet at PAX Prime is not from anywhere near Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
It's always people from New York and Europe and just like Canada.
Yeah, it's a bit like the same percentage of Greek people in Astoria, right?
Yep.
Astoria is still a Greek neighborhood. There's still plenty of Greek people. They own most of the real estate, like the buildings and shit. But the majority of people there are not Greeks. It's just enough. They just sort of outnumber any other individual group. So it's the same thing. Like, you go to PAX Prime, Washingtonians aren't the majority at the PAX, or at least only having badges, but they outnumber any other individual group. So there's still the most of them.
PAX East seems to be, in my experience, mostly people from New York, Boston, and Washington.
Yeah, it's pretty much you're going to get even amounts from all over the Northeast. You're also going to get some more Europeans and some less Australians and other types because, but you're going to get an increase relative percentage-wise of people from Seattle, Washington area because that's the PAX area.
Yep.
So
PAX Australia was mostly Australians and foreign people who work in the games industry, of course.
And top-tier PAX
Well,
people who
and
go to any
Kiwis,
PAX.
a lot of Kiwis and a lot of people from Europe, actually. But
Well, you also get at PAX South, even when I was there.
I said Australia.
No, but I'm saying I had quite a few, like, Chinese, Japanese,
True.
Southeast Asia street passes because,
Yeah.
if you speak English and you're up there, PAX South, pretty close.
But seriously, I feel like the majority of people I interacted with at PAX South they lived in San Antonio or drove there from somewhere nearby.
Yeah,
and had only 1 day badge.
Yep, Dallas, Houston, Phoenix, those types.
So I feel like PAX South is pretty much people who can't afford to get into other PAXs.
I think there was some Oklahoma.
Or can't get badges or hotels for other PAXs.
Yeah, I think I picked up the Oklahoma Street Pass, which is the one I did not have.
Yeah.
So,
but as a result, it's way easier to get into PAX South than, say, PAX East. Like, it's easier for me to go to PAX South than to go to PAX East, despite living in New York.
Yep.
And if I had to choose between them, I'd go to South because there's way more room in tabletop and
It's
there's
warm
way more
and it's in the
restaurants.
winter.
Yes.
It was way easy to eat there.
Yeah, way good food. Well, relatively good food nearby.
Yeah. It's not New York food. Come
So we
on.
played a bunch of games. We can talk about the games we played.
Yeah, I mean, since there wasn't so much at the PAX, we've spent, of course, a lot of time gaming.
Yeah, and there wasn't anything in San Antonio. So
So there wasn't much.
San Antonio is the
There
city.
wasn't more than a day's worth.
There is 1.3 days worth of shit to do in San Antonio if you stretch it.
And you don't have a car.
Yeah, 2 full days if you have a car.
And you spend a lot of that time like watching a whole movie or a whole night of viewing at the
The Alamo.
Draft House.
Oh my god, I'm glad we didn't go to that anime thing though, because that looked pretty like booby scary actually.
Well, Funimation was doing it, I think. Whatever.
Yeah, but it wasn't good.
No. It didn't.
Anyway. So
what games did we play? At the
we
PAX
played,
South?
though I didn't play, but I watched them play Sheriff of Nottingham.
Who was the sheriff? Scott was the
I will
sheriff.
be.
Scott was the sheriff.
It's like a lying bluffing game, like Bonanza,
Maybe the
that
person
kind
who
of
played
thing.
it should explain it.
Okay.
So basically, on your turn, right, you're gonna you have a hand of cards, and you're sort of putting cards into this bag. It actually comes in a little bag.
Yeah.
Right?
With like really snappy buttons.
And you're basically trying to get your goods into Nottingham, and the sheriff is someone's the sheriff, and they're at the gate. So you take turns being the sheriff. When you're the sheriff, you don't do the bag thing, right? Everyone puts out a bag, and they tell you what's in the bag. So they'll say, like, there are 3 chickens in this bag. There are 4 wheats in this bag. I forget the specific goods, but it's, goods like that, right? Now, that may or may not be what's in the bag. If it is what's in the bag, then that's good for the person putting it in. But if it's not what's in the bag, it's bad for them. But
so I come up to Scott with my bag, and I'm like, there's 3 apples in here, Scott.
now he's going to give me 3 apples. Now I have to decide, do I look in the bag or not look in the bag? Because I'm the sheriff. I choose each. I can open all the bags. I can open none of the bags. It's completely up to me if I'm going to open the bag or not. Each bag has a snap on it.
Yeah, the game has really good rules about
once the snap is latched by the player, they cannot unlatch it. And as soon as the sheriff unlatches it, they've made their decision to open it.
Yep.
They
Or like if
cannot
the sheriff
snap it close again.
If the sheriff hands the bag back to you, it's gone. You can't ask for it again.
Right, that's it. So, the sheriff opens the bag. If in the bag are the goods that you said were in there, then the sheriff opened it. The sheriff has to give you money. Like, oops, sorry, I opened your bag. If the goods that are not correct, right, then the sheriff opens it. You get in trouble, right? So, that's how it works. And of course, if the sheriff doesn't open the bag, you just sneak all the goods through, whether they're good or not.
Yeah, it was actually 3 crossbows.
Yeah, so there's legit goods, like apples and stuff, but there's also not legit goods, like crossbows and gems and all sorts of illicit, contraband. The contraband are worth way more fucking points.
Nope.
It's really all about sneaking through contraband is the whole game. Is how much contraband can you sneak through? Because, wow, you're going to get a lot more points if you sneak through contraband.
It's just a really awesome, fun bluffing game.
Yeah, it's pretty much just straight up, put stuff in the bag, bluff, mess with the person who's the sheriff, also be really good at being the sheriff and tell who's lying and who's not. People can also bribe you like, yo, I will give you some money if you don't open my bag, or I will give you money to open Rim's bag.
Yep, you can make pretty much almost any deal you want.
You can think about this mathematically, right? And to where it's like, okay, if the sheriff opens my bag, I'll lose this much money. So I'll give the sheriff half of what this person who is the sheriff right now is a player who's not doing well. So giving them half of my profit margin on my illicit good is not going to hurt me very much. I can make a binding agreement with them for something immediate. So I'll be like, half my profit is 3. I will give you 3 to not open my bag. If they don't agree, well, they'll open my bag and I'll be screwed anyway. If they do accept it, okay, I'll cut my profit margin in half, but at least I will, get something out of it. And giving them 3 is no big deal because they're losing, so whatever.
I mean, it's just a really solid game. Once we play it a bunch more, we'll probably do a very deep, dedicated
Yeah, we can probably do a
review.
whole episode on it, so that will leave it at that.
So the other big German-style board game we played was Navegadore.
Navegadore.
I really like Navegadore. I tried to buy it, but you can't get it on Amazon, so I'm going to have to go to the Strat and probably pay full price for it.
Next time I'm there, I'll let you know if I see it there.
If you see it there, I'll just buy it from you unless the guy wants more than $100.
I don't. They charge a lot there. So this is a game that's It's really hard.
It has the same brain feel as games like imagine Endecker crossed with Puerto Rico.
Sort of.
Like that kind of feeling.
It's got cool parts where you're moving boats around. That's the fun part.
It's got really good mechanics around, like you can build factories or you can, like there's sort of like this commodities market in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Some people profit if people are selling a lot, and then other people profit if people are refining a lot, and selling or refining kind of push the meter in the opposite direction.
Right. If someone buys a bunch of goods because they want them, because they need them for stuff, then the price will go up. So if you're producing those goods that the price just went up for and you sell them, then you'll get more money. But then, of course, if you start selling a bunch of them and putting more in the market, the price will go down. And it's sort of like the bottom of Power Grid, only if the bottom of Power Grid were controlled by player actions and not just sort of this automatic thing that happens every turn on a schedule.
But more importantly, it's a Rondel game.
Rondo!
I'm a big fan of Rondel games ever since NTK. And the Rondel kind of makes it.
Yeah,
and
if you didn't have the Rondel, this game would be way too it'd be like super easy because you could just take the perfect action every turn. Like in Puerto Rico, you can just take the action you want unless someone took it already. In this game, that Rondel pretty much, there were so many turns where it's like, I know, I'll do this action, then this action, then this action, and I'll get to do all this. It'll be super efficient, perfect choice. And then I look at the Rondel and I'm like, I'm going to have to go around the Rondel like 3 times to do all that. And I could do it too. I could do all those actions with only 1 trip around the Rondel, but I need to do them in this specific order. And the Rondel is made in the most evil possible fashion.
The Rondel is very well designed.
Evilly designed.
But because of the Rondel, the thing that I think gives this, I got to play it a bunch more before we really review it.
Yeah, I played it once.
Just like Sheriff Nottingham. But the reason I want to buy it is that it shows promise I have not seen in many recent games that try to have this depth of mechanics. Because with the Rondel, I think the game has a similar interplay to Hans the Teutonica, where it's not so much about having a coherent strategy, it's about having a tactical like following a tactic and reacting to how the other players are playing the game. It's a highly reactive game.
Yep.
But it's not an attacking game.
Yeah, like if someone, you might have a really efficient move and you got planned out for 3 turns, and then someone else moves forward and takes your biz with their fast boats, and it's like, well, okay, I guess that plan isn't going to work, but I already moved on this Rondel, so now I need to figure out something else to do on this Rondel. But, you can only really go 1 move on the Rondel before other people do stuff. So there's some things you can do, I think, to take 2 turns in a row, though.
Well, you can take a Navigator action if you are the Navegadore.
Right.
Yeah. But I really like it. I can't say if it's great yet. I got to play it some more, but it's in the queue.
Mm-hmm.
We played a shit ton of Doom, like original Doom.
Doom.
Scott is terrible at Doom Deathmatch.
I'm not terrible.
I had like 4 times the number of frags as you in a one-on-one.
Is not correct.
That is 100% correct.
You had more. You didn't have 4 times more.
I had so many more. It was ridiculous. I would kill you like 7, 8 times in a row. I should have taken a
screenshot. You know what? There is no screenshot. I had more.
Yeah. All right.
I didn't have more, but it wasn't 4 times.
All right, Scott. If you believe that to be true.
Also, despite me having less, I still had many.
Not that many.
I had many.
Also,
you just had
most
many.
of your kills were while I was semi-idle and setting up my controls.
There were many kills when I was idle and setting up my controls.
No, there were not.
Or,
all right.
or opening a menu.
All right, Scott,
or whatever.
If you honestly think you can stand by your Doom skills, then I propose this to you. Let's play some live stream Doom deathmatch, you and me.
Also, it was very disappointing to go into the PC room and not be able to get a full Counter-Strike game together.
Oh my God, that was the saddest thing ever. We go to PC Free Play early on like Sunday morning.
And we're like, perfect Counter-Strike time.
We sit down, there's a ton of people in there.
We sat near some people playing Counter-Strike.
And then I tap them on the shoulder, and every one of them is just playing in rando games online.
And it's like, dudes, there's like a LAN here. This server's running in this room.
None of them gave...
They're waiting. If you open the LAN tab, there they are. And why aren't you on them?
No one was on those servers. There was one dude who was willing to play Counter-Strike with us.
We had to tell him, we had to talk to him because he was sitting next to us and get him to join the server with us.
And he was super cool, but everyone else was literally playing rando fucking games online silently just like they would at home.
Also MOBAs.
Why?
Also MOBAs.
Yeah, so as we got up, because when we got in there, a lot of Counter-Strike. We played for like our hour, and then they kicked us out. So I remember I got up to leave, and I turned around, and it was a sea of people playing nothing but MOBAs.
Yeah. We should go and play Skeleton Clicker.
Yeah,
That would be a good PAX game.
Only if you were rowdy and possibly drunk.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone would be like, Get the El Diablo, making the fun joke.
So we found an amazing
Oh no,
game.
you didn't click on the skeleton. What is wrong with you?
We're going to talk about this game in more detail too, but it's on the House of Iron Mouse website. The game is called Bring Your Own Book.
Bring your own book? Do you literally bring your own book?
So everyone brings a book of their choice.
Okay.
Like a physical book,
Can
printed
it be,
pages.
Does it have to be nonfiction, fiction, C-Spot Run, Dr. Seuss?
I suggest you bring fiction, I guess.
Okay.
But basically what you do is it's kind of one of those, like, it's a game where you'll have a prompt. So everyone gets a prompt. Like, I'm going to read some because they gave us
like
a
Cards
copy of the
Against
game.
Humanity prompt or Apples to Apples prompt?
The name of an inn in a D&D campaign. Overheard at a LARP. Something you could hear Mario say.
So with those kind of prompts, those prompts are made specifically for nerds. This isn't a book.
Dialogue from an episode of a soap opera like General Hospital.
Okay, you could play that.
Words
if you-
tattooed on someone's body, a good warning to children, an item in a police report.
All right, so there are cards in there you can play without nerdy people.
All over the place. But then the timer starts and everyone flips through their own book until they find a passage, an uninterrupted passage that matches the prompt. And then there's rules about like the order, like once you're done, everyone else has a certain amount of time. And then, much like Apples to Apples or Cards Against Humanity, everyone reads their prompt.
All right, now how do you vote? Who's the voter?
I don't know. We're going to talk about this game
Is
in detail.
one person like the person with the prompt who then
We are going to
votes?
talk about this game in excruciating detail because it looked amazing. And the people we saw getting a demo and playing it were having a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
They brought a ton of books with them. I saw one guy was pointedly using The Lord of the Rings on like this giant edition.
What would be the best book to use with that?
I
I mean, like seriously, like it has to be a book that would produce hilarious results that would score points.
that are also relevant.
It has to be a book that like you know well enough that you can find stuff.
Yeah, you know what I would use,
has to-
honestly? The Darkness That Came Before.
It's not a bad
I
choice.
know that book well enough, and it is eminently quotable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here's one. A phrase you wouldn't want aliens to judge humanity by. I could find that in The
What
Prince
did
of Nothing.
you see?
I could find that in The
What?
Prince of Nothing in like seconds.
What do you see?
A line written by Dr. Seuss might be harder.
What if you have Cat in the Hat in front of you? You could just be like,
Yeah.
thing one and thing two.
This game was just like really good concept, and the people seem to really have their stuff together, so promising.
Mm-hmm.
We played
Video ball.
Video Ball, the sport that has replaced all other sport in a grim and dark future.
Hopefully, ice hockey finds an underground existence.
I'm telling you guys now, you heard it here first. Video Ball is going to be a breakout game in the coming months.
Video ball is going to be the shit. It's coming.
Video Ball is
time.
going to be an esport, and I think it's going to begin in like the next few weeks because people
Or
are gonna.
it's going to be the next Nidhogg.
If it's the next Nidhogg, that's fine because I'll play it with like the few people who remember it.
At worst, it's the best Nidhogg, is what I'm saying.
I just think PAX should get the guy on the Video Ball staff who does the commentary, like when they're at cons, to be the commentator of every Omegathon finale henceforth. I mean, this guy, like, I can't even do him justice, but I'm not even going to try. He's great.
So there's this game that we saw also in the expo hall there that made a big splash on the internet afterwards, even though some people were slow to discover it, I guess because they weren't at PAX South. And
Yeah?
There's a game, it had a nice booth right in the middle called Starr Mazer. It's Starr.
Oh, I forgot all about that game.
It's a point-and-click adventure. It's also a shmup, and it's got sort of like stylings of Space Quest, but also anime, but also sort of like, I don't know, really good stylings. You'll know the stylings when you see them.
It's the kind of styling where you implicitly trust whatever creative team is making the game.
Yeah, it's like you just see the logo and you know what this game is all about style-wise. So it's like point-and-click adventure, then some shmup action, like combined. And it's like, oh, that's a really good combo that never existed with some really good style. And it says being kickstarted. I sort of see this game ending up being on the same level as like a Shovel Knight kind of deal.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and in fact, it looks like there's some sort of crossover with Shovel Knight that was a stretch goal that was reached. So there you go. If you're into that, keep an eye out for this because I think the Kickstarter's over. It's over. Sorry.
So much for that.
Oh well.
We played some real money gambling. Where we talked
Real money gambling.
Cordial Minuet. Jason Rohr, I'm holding the card he gave me when we were talking to him. It's just a dollar bill with his website on
But
it.
business cards often cost more than $1.
My
so-
Moo cards are like 88 cents each.
Yeah, something like that. So, basically, Real Money Gambling. He made this game called Cordial Minuet. It's themed as like an underground Illuminati kind of deal.
His booth at PAX was like this gypsy caravan, like fly.
He bought like displays from tablets that had HDMI inputs from Southeast Asia
so
somewhere.
the outside, like imagine in Shadowrun.
No, it looks like the gypsy tent from Zelda Link to the Past, only spookier without the eyeball, but some like magic runes on the front.
But the inside is like a cyberpunk dystopian gambling den.
Yes, exactly.
I was about to say, imagine in Shadowrun, if you went into an alley, you saw the Zelda 3 hut, and in there, a bunch of deckers were gambling for real money.
So you can play this if you can get into it. I'm into it.
I'm into it.
I was into it before PAX South. But
I'm gonna play it a lot
I didn't
more
play it until
soon.
after, because when I launched it, it was like, give real money. And I was like, I don't want to give real money gambling. And then when I talked to Jason Rohr, he was very convincing, and he said, you can play for a penny. And I'm like, all right.
Just one penny.
Just one penny. Just one penny. And also, I'm good at games. I'm in like the top 10 ELO rankings.
Yeah, let
So
me
even
get
though
in there.
I don't play high stakes, so like my profit, like I don't even chart on like the profit rankings or the total money rankings. I just win a lot, way more than 50% of the time.
We'll talk about this game in much more detail later as well, but it's kind of like
basically, I think there is a huge the near future prediction, right? Not betting on the prediction though, even though it's a prediction about betting.
I might bet on it. I'm thinking. I got
People
ideas.
have discovered that gambling in skill-based games is legal in the United States of America. There is a specific legal exception for fantasy sports, and that is huge and somewhat skill-based. Poker has already been on the rise, though that is specifically illegal in many places. But
specifically
look
as
at-
poker.
right, look at things such as, Netrunner tournament, pay to get in, win prizes, and also Jason Rohr's Real Money Gambling, Cordial Minuet, skill-based game, put real money out there. This is going to be a big thing. It's getting bigger all the time. Get ready for it. It's like that's going to be the next wave to replace the lost revenues now that people have figured out like the, sort of Candy Crush money-making candy box type games.
Yep.
Real money gambling is going to be the next thing on the mobile devices with the games to make money. So if you want to make a lot of money, I suggest making a skill-based real money gambling
Now,
game.
if you want to do this, you need to be kind of like Jason Rohr. Like, you need some, like, game theory, like, real game theory.
No, because the way you make money in a real money gambling situation, if it's a game of skill, right, is you cannot be opposing the player because someone with a lot of skill will win and clean you the fuck out. You need other people to oppose each other, put money down, battle each other. Winner takes the money, loser loses the money, but you're the fucking house and you take a cut.
This is more
That
than
is
just video
how
games.
this works.
That is how successful. Look at some big successful businesses in recent memory. Steam, Valve.
Yes, you publisher sell game to this gamer. I don't care if your game is any fucking good
I'm
or
taking
how
a
much they
rake.
play it, but I'm raking it in.
Hasbro. You make this movie. You make toys with the license for this movie. We're just the middleman.
Yo, you want to make Transformers movie? You must give us money whether it succeeds or fails. Thank you.
Yep. Grubhub. Oh, you want to buy some pizza? Well,
You buy pizza from that restaurant, you deliver it, and since you used our website, we get money.
I'm a casino. Just be the casino.
Yeah,
Don't be the gambler
the
in
difference
the casino.
is that a middleman, right? See, like a middleman like Grubhub can be beaten out, but you can't really replace like someone's, brokering real money gambling between two people. You need that third party cannot be eliminated. You need someone there to sort of enforce the gamble. Otherwise, like you just go into a dark.
You theoretically don't.
Theoretically, but
No,
Rim.
cryptocurrency transactions.
No, but there's no way to guarantee that force me to give you the money.
Well, no,
You
put
need some sort of escrow.
cryptocurrency. You have technological escrow.
Is there a completely technological escrow that does not require like someone to own a computer that enforces it or anything?
Yeah, Bitcoin already.
How does that work?
What do you mean?
How does it escrow?
So
I give you a Bitcoin. It's not
no,
yours.
I'm saying that it is. There are ways to do it. I can't name a specific.
I don't think
service.
it works. Like you have to give the Bitcoin to someone.
Yes, it would be.
Who do you give it to? An escrow, which is a
I'm
person.
saying it would be trivial to do the same kind of cryptographic technology to have built-in escrow.
So.
Yes, you could.
Some computer has to be the escrow that is holding on to the Bitcoins while you are playing the game, and then it has to look at the state of the game, ensure the game was legit, and give the winning monies to the correct winner.
The game itself could do that.
The game itself is running on which computer, and who is ensuring
two separate computers, and the clients, the two game clients, interrogate each other cryptographically to ensure that they're both mutually secure. It is 100% theoretically within the realm.
Then, Mr. Genius. I think there has to be a third
you know what?
party that is trusted to
You know who's
ensure
gonna make
the gambling.
that? You know who's gonna make that? Some people we know. I can name two that I won't talk about on the show.
Yeah.
They're gonna get together and they're gonna make it.
Okay.
The last big game we played was USCMC.
So USCMC is really just Torchbearer with alien theme.
Luke Crane and Jared Sorensen basically made a mod, an official mod of Torchbearer that is the USCMC Field Operations Manual. You know the movie Aliens?
Aliens.
Yes.
Specifically. Not Alien. Aliens.
Yes.
I should just go home and watch Alien or
Star
Wars. Because,
check it out, independently targeting particle beam phalanx. Whap!
Yeah.
That game, that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is that movie, the role-playing game.
Is this a bug hunt? Yes, it is.
So, Torchbearer is a really, actually relatively simple system with a lot of skin and theme on top of it. But the system is a very good way to broker, the role-playing situation of a team of people attempting to achieve a goal by going into a place and then coming back out of that place.
Well, if you think about it, Aliens is very, dungeon-y, right? It's like, all right, we landed on this planet.
You're a team.
We go into this building. It's basically just a dungeon crawl, that movie, right? The mother alien is way down at the bottom. It's 100% a dungeon crawl story.
But more so than that, you've got a team.
So you don't need a different game to tell that story.
You have a team that's got a stated goal.
Mm-hmm.
You've got members of that team who have personal goals.
Yep.
And then you've got a mystery and a twist.
You have rooms to navigate, treasures to acquire. It's the only part that you really take out is the labor to bring the treasures out, because it's not really physical treasures, it's knowledge treasures you're looking for.
So our good friend Andrew put together an adventure for us. And me and Scott
got crazy drunk.
Yeah, he did he drank a little too much of his milk in the course of running this game.
He drank all the milk.
I point out that we partially succeeded in our mission, and only Scott and a bunch of civvies who deserved it died. Scott, you fucking you fucked us. The civilian,
the civilian that wasn't even supposed to be there in the first. That's the reason that I was so willing to just shoot them. It's he starts out and there's some Whalen company guy giving us the briefing.
And our commanding officer awesomely is you're fucking coming with us into this dangerous
right, so that was
piece
not
of shit.
part of the adventure to begin with.
This
guy was not supposed to come with us to the space
We
station.
made a test to make him come.
Right. So,
and then you shot him.
Okay, so I figured, we are able to beat this mission. Right? We're able to complete this mission without this guy because it was designed such that he wasn't even supposed to come with us. That was us thinking outside the box. So killing him is not really the end of the world, and it was actually went along well with my beliefs, which are anti-corporation, right? 2, my odds of being successful there were really, really high. I rolled really, really badly.
You failed to shoot that
But
chicken
there were
shit.
2 rolls in a row. I just succeed on one of them. Either the one to get him to do what I wanted and intimidate him, which had a really high chance of success that I failed, or the one to murder him, which had a really high chance of success but failed.
So, of course, he runs off and hides in the facility and eventually, rallies all the other scientists who are alive against us because we're kind of the bad guys now.
Sure.
And I think the greatest moment in this game toward the end was Scott. We're all in the EVA room, the extravehicular activity, space station.
Right.
And we're all we put on EVA suits just in case. And Scott's I'm not putting one on.
I'm we're not going outside. Someone else is going outside.
So
why would I need to put one on?
All of us put these suits on, except Scott,
But you were going outside. I wasn't.
who pointedly and repeatedly reminds everyone throughout this entire scene,
Well, I just
I
said-
don't have one on.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't put one on because I'm not going outside. I'm not opening the door. There's no reason for me to put one on. These other people aren't putting them on. And I kind of want to be flexible and mobile, not wearing a big heavy spacesuit while I'm inside in a safe place where I can shoot my gun or do whatever else I need to do.
So we all jump into space
Because you were going into space and I wasn't.
to get our ship back.
Right.
The Xenomorph
I was
comes
waiting
up,
there for you to come back.
Xenomorph comes up on Scott's ass.
Right, so I tried to shoot it. That didn't
Fail.
work.
You're
So then, of course, now, my best laid plans, I'm not going outside. Actually, the only way to get rid of this alien is to pull an Alien 1 and open the door.
Well, we all applauded Scott for this action.
But I did not have my suit on because the last thing I thought I would be doing would be opening the door. So I sacrificed myself and opened the door anyway to kill the alien.
So the funniest thing was that Scott opens the door. The alien makes
I tried to hold on.
The alien makes its check and holds on. Scott fails his hold on check. So
That's not supposed to be how it works. Didn't you see Alien 1?
So yeah.
It's supposed to be the other way around. It's really just, you can't blame me for doing, it's like, if I failed those roles, which I did,
So from our
you can make
perspective-
fun of me because I'm stupid and it looks like I failed, was bumbling. But if I had succeeded in all of those roles, I would be a genius and a hero.
So from our
So-
perspective, we hear Scott scream, "Motherfucker!" Just space the room, and then he comes flying out of the door alone. So
It looked like I committed suicide?
Andrew turns to us. He's like, "You gonna save him?" And I was like, "Oh shit, Scott's got the data. He's got the USB stick with that data we need." So I'm like, "Yeah, I try to go save him." And then as soon as I learn that bringing his body back to the ship in time to save his life is a factor in the test, I asked Andrew with a straight face, "So it'll be easier if I wait for him to be dead and then
and you
go
just
just
slowly
retrieve the body?"
just retrieve my, yeah.
And Andrew says yes. And
Of
that's what I
course.
do because my belief was only one of us needs to make it back alive.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
If I had succeeded on those tests, I would be like hero genius. And I had good odds, except
Yeah.
for the grabbing one. That was bad odds.
Like I said,
but the other two, I had good odds.
I applaud you for opening that door. You may have saved humanity.
Maybe.
Of course, our chicken shit outfit just fucking ran and brought the heavy artillery
Yeah.
and basically nuked the station from far space.
I was all hero, bro. You guys are the chicken shit.
We just came back with nukes.
Chicken shit.
Yeah. So even if you don't play Torchbearer or tabletop RPGs, go to this link and read this document. This document
If
is
you're an
amazing.
RPG document reader.
Even if you're not, this document is full. You'll understand a lot about. You'll read this, you'll be like, "Oh, damn, aliens!" And then you're just
Yeah,
gonna
if you
want
ever
watch
wanted to play
Aliens.
Aliens, the RPG, this is pretty much it right now.
What's funny though is Scott and I had just kind of randomly just watched Predator,
The Predator.
which also
So we
kind of
kept
fits
saying,
this theme.
We kept saying, go have me some
Go
fun.
have me some
Go
fun.
have me some fun.
So the rest of the group watched Aliens before this. We watched Predator. So our group was a mix of the Marines from Predator and the Marines from Aliens. It was beautiful.
Get to the chopper, the shuttle.
Get to the shuttle. And that was basically our PAX South.
Well, the gaming part.
Yeah.
I thought we can remember from all those weeks ago.
Yeah. I got notes. We'll talk about San Antonio later. This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.
Mamma mia, it's a Super Mario Brothers cartoon! Too bad, losers. I've got to run. There's a lot more dirty work that's got to be done.
One more spin will be the end of you two.
Toad, you're the best. Thank you, thank you.
Rapland's still not safe from that Koopa thug. We gotta cut his power. Pull the royal plug.